We have Dan Deming of KKM Financial kicking off our Trader Talk. Good to see you there, Dan. And the stock market, of course, has been setting new records. No one can guess what's next, but what do you foresee?
Well, Angie, I tell you, more earnings this week, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. The banks were pretty strong last week, and certainly, the setup is the expectations are high, and rightly so. And the data points that we have recently received have been very strong as well. So, as you mentioned, it is interesting. You're seeing now one thing that I want to point to is some moderation in the interest rate environment, and as we see rates kind of finding a range here the last few weeks. I think that's another reason why we're seeing like the tech sector starting to find the ability to push to new highs along with the Dow and the S&P.
What about the small caps and the Russell 2000? Is that money rotation happening again?
Yeah, I think it's struggling right now a little bit, but it had such a strong run early in the year. And so I think you're just seeing a little bit of the resetting of expectations and also just some of the dynamics within the market construct as we see a shifting of, the expectations, not only here in the United States, but across the globe, I think is also causing a little bit of a hesitation there as you're seeing some of these big tech names coming back into a positive light here. As I mentioned, interest rates kind of leveling off, I should say. And so I think that's why you're seeing some reallocation. So maybe taking a little bit of money off the table in the small caps and then reallocating it back into some of the areas where the market wasn't so strong earlier in the year, particularly the tech sector.
The VIX seems very firm at these lower levels. What is that telling you?
Yeah, it rightly so, given the fact that realized volatility, that means how much the market moves on a day-to-day basis, has come down so dramatically here recently, Angie. So, the VIX is probably at its lower level, certainly the lowest level in the last year plus, but getting back towards a level where, identifiable with the recent price action in the market. So, it's probably not going to go much lower from here. And if we see any weakness, then you would expect the VIX to pop up a little bit. But ultimately, we're just not seeing the big moves that we did realize earlier this year and particularly last year. And that's why I think over time, historically, you see the VIX coming back to these 16, 17 levels.
Thank you, Dan. Have a great week.
Thank you.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.